Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So this money making video, which we're going to go through today, is one of the best AFK money makers that I know in the game. But I was a little bit worried that when 120 thieving was released, it would be absolutely decimated. Now in this video, we're going to be looking at doing the sift soil spell where you sift the archaeology soils, go and get archaeology materials. Now with 120 being released, the ability to pickpocket archaeology professors was introduced into the game. And from that, you can get a vast amount of the archaeology materials. Now, not only that, the different forms of the archaeology NPCs do drop the soils as well, which meant that this method was hit on both fronts, where the soil came into the game a lot more, so it got cheaper, but because people were also pickpocketing the professors, the materials also got cheaper as well. So I was worried you weren't going to make the kind of GP you could before, because this method used to be very consistently between 10 and 15 mil per hour, depending on if the set was in demand or if a certain type of soil was very, very profitable. Now, a couple of months have passed since the thieving update has come into the game, and I can now report that we are back towards the kind of profit we used to be. Now, currently, the best performing one is going to bring in roughly about 15 mil per hour after the grand exchange taxes. Now, let's talk about some items beforehand, which I think you guys are going to need just to make sure you get the most value from it. Now, this is a method where the higher your archaeology level is going to be, the more profit you're going to make. As a kind of minimum, 99 would be the best, but again, you can try to lower level. The only reason why 99 is so good is because the master archaeology outfit is available to be used then, and also the most upgraded soil box. Now, the top tier soil box is going to hold up to 500 of each soil, and you can use sift soil on the soils which are in the box, so you don't have to continuously bank. You can literally click sift soil and you can do it 100 soils at a time from the soil box. So it's such a nice item for this as well. Now, other things which are really good is going to be an elemental battle staff, which if you haven't got one already, it's one of those items I really recommend everyone in the game gets. And basically what this does is acts as all of your elemental runes. So for the spell we're going to use, we're going to need 91 mage, but it also requires 10 waters and 5 earths. That can really add up if you had to go and buy the runes, but with the staff it covers it for the price of 2.4 mil. And with how effective lunar spells are as well, there's some really other good ones here, so things like Fire Urn, you also have things like Telekinetic Grind. These can all be used alongside the elemental bat staff to pay off an incredible amount of GP, so definitely an item worth picking up and is really, really useful here. Now, having the quest Lunar Diplomacy is needed to be able to do this, and ideally you want the Guildmaster qualification because that's what's going to give you the outfit as well as the soil box as well. Now, if you had 50 summoning, you can also use a Water Fiend. What a Water Fiend does is find you different artifacts as well as some materials as well, just to add to that GP on top of that. Now, this isn't just a really good way to make some GP, it's actually a pretty solid way to train your account as well. In terms of XP, you're going to get 465,000 magic XP, which is absolutely insane, like to get that level of magic XP, and also 100,000 archaeology XP as well, which again is very, very solid. The magic XP is absolutely mental for this as well. And one thing I really would recommend before just delving back into the method, the wiki has an exceptional page for this, and basically it groups all of the different types of soil together into a tabbed page where you can just go and look between all of them as well. But I'm going to run off some GP per hour for all the different soils now. So the best performing soil now, quite surprisingly, is the Ancient Gravel. That's currently making 15 mil profit per hour. We then have Fiery Brimstone at 11.8, Saltwater Mud 11.3, Aerated Sediment, the Armadillo one, is going to be 10.7, Earth and Clay Bandos 8.4. I'm very surprised that the Bandos taking such a big hit, but I do think that's a spot a lot more people go to thieve. Because again, the archaeology materials there used to be a high price, so it's where I went to go and thieve, so it kind of makes sense in that aspect. And then finally, the Volcanic Ash at 9 mil GP per hour. So all of these make pretty much the same sort of XP per hour. You're not going to get any less than that as well. In terms of how much sort of soil you're going to need per hour, it's roughly going to be 5,000 soil. And to go and do a soil, you just need 1 astral rune, as long as you've got the elemental battle staff, or a mud staff, or a staff which is going to cover all your runes. But apart from that, that is pretty much it. So in terms of what I've got some stuff in my box now. You literally just need to go and click the sift soil spell. Again, you can put it on your action bar if you want it to be a little bit quicker. And because we've got it stored in the soil box, we'll do 100 soils at once. Now, you've got a couple of ways you want to sort of bank your stuff as well. You can take it to your invo and just throw it in the bank afterwards. You could be stood next to one of the material storage boxes and then just throw it in there every single time. But if you want the full AFK experience, where you get a full minute to AFK this, you can use a sign and porter, which will bank your items here. This was one of the really useful items for the Premier Artifact because you saved 50% of your sign and porter charges. It was a really good way because you're going to be using 5,000 now. You could save charges. Now, this will cost a fair bit in terms of charges. Again, your profit per hour doesn't quite take that into consideration. So you could pretty much take like 2 mil off the top end. So you're still going to make roughly about 13 mil per hour doing this method. So using the material storage or banking materials can be a very good option. But if you wanted something which was a lot more AFK, where you had to pay less attention, you can 100% use the porters to do this as well. Now, just to show you guys how good this is in terms of GP, I'm just going to turn the porter off really quick. And what we're going to go and do is just quickly test the price of one of the Saradomin soils. So I think it's saltwater mud, just so we know roughly what we're looking like in terms of like GP per one. So let's say we're going to be 2100 GP for the mud. We're going to be roughly about 500 GP for an astral. We are a little bit on the cheaper end at the minute. So that's going to be 2.6k for each one of the soils which we currently have. If we were to go off the fact we're going to do 25 of those, that is going to roughly bring us in at about 75,000 coins. And let me just show you guys how much you can make in terms of that as well. So if we simply just click that to go and do this, we will fill it onto the info. And then you'll quickly see just how expensive some of these materials still are and how quickly you can rack up some GP with it as well. But if you've got an account, very similar to 7-Day Bond, actually 7-Day Bond has a very low magic level, but a very high archaeology level. This could be an incredible way to go and train both skills where you're getting some archaeology XP and some great magic XP as well. So I'm going to take out, I'm not going to do that Keramos, which we got beforehand, but if we start throwing some stuff in, you guys can see just how much profit you can be making. Now, obviously you'll have some materials which are more, some materials which are less, but they kind of balance out to be a decent price. But that Keramos is a bit lower than what I remember it being. But we have now turned 75k into 112k for that. You saw how quick we did that as well. So this is going to be one of those where you want to kind of go as fast as possible and you'll make as much GP as possible as well. But the ability to sit next to the storage unit and then just throw them in whenever you got full info really can save you some GP and can be worthwhile doing as well. But this is going to be one of the best ways to build an ult out, to make some GP while leveling your magic and your archaeology up as well. And just a solid way for you just to make some GP really. I'm definitely going to be doing this on 7-Day Bond. I actually bought quite a lot of the ancient gravel a little while ago in the hopes I was going to go and do this method and make a little bit of GP. The ancient gravel crashed and I've not done it since, but it's going to be something I'll probably tie in to do very, very soon because it's a really good way to train your magic. Don't forget, you're getting 465k magic XP and 100k archaeology while doing this method as well. This will still be around for an awful long time and it's still so good. The way they did the archaeology to have the artifacts where people can go and buy the materials just mean you've always got a flow of people wanting to buy it just so they don't have to go and do some extra archaeology and get the material themselves. Rather than focusing on caches, it's a lot better and it's a lot easier just to buy the materials and then move on to the next bit and then go and get the materials and the new artifacts from there. However, Sift Soil, definitely one of the best AFK money making methods in the game. One I pay back and visit more often than not. I'd do it on this account if I wasn't 200 mil mage in archaeology because it really is that good in terms of GP. And it's one of those things you can do on the side with doing other projects as well. Like you can have an account quite happily, admittedly it will need the grace of the elves to do it. Just making the Sift Soil spell happen while they're there and just make profit on the side as well. However, gonna wrap the video up. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Again, do you do this method? Do you use a certain type of soil? Is there a certain type of dig site soil you guys think makes more money than the others? Let me know in the comment section below. Really interested to hear it as well. And if you guys got any suggestions on content you guys want to see going forward, drop them in the comment section down below and I'll make sure to jump on it and we'll have a look for a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.